Hello everyone and welcome you for the Bagcampus Power Camp 2021's great session of web development session 1 where we are going to discuss about basics of HTML, CSS, Bootstrap version 4.6. So let's get started with the session and welcome you all where we are going in the Power Camp 2021 we are going to learn of many things. We are going to start with the basics of HTML, CSS to the at the pick where we are going to learn with React.js. Hope you have checked with our schedule so you can just look at that, right? So let's get started up. Please let me know in the comment section whether my voice is clear or not. Hello. Yeah, if my voice is clear, please put in the chat. So about today's topic, we are going to learn about the HTML, then what are the inline CSS, what is external CSS, and then we will understand what is Bootstrap version 4.6, right? So let's get started with the session. So for you guys, make sure you submit the assignment before the deadline. Fill the feedback form without fail. Certificate will be available to download in a week. Okay, after 31st of August, you can download your certificates, right? So let's get started with the session, and we are talking about how web works, right? So when you type backcampus.in in your search bar, then it get redirected to backcampus.in. It shows whatever that's there is code hosted on backcampus.in. Really how it works, right? That's the question which we have to find out when we are working with web development. So when we type backcampus.in URL bar, then it get redirected to the CDNs. It get redirected to the various parts of the web servers where the code is hosted, and it get reflected on your device that backcampus.in has been placed, right? So let's move to learn what is web development, what is HTML, what is CSS, what is JavaScript, and how it works. So the first point we are going to discuss out is HTML. What is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. This is the structure of the total web which we have seen, right? So HTML is just a bone. Means if we are considering a human body, whatever there is a bone is called as the HTML, on which our body is dependent, right? So because we have to start with the coding, so there are some prerequisites before we get started. There's You should have a simple text editor for work. I recommend Visual Studio Code or Atom because they are really good. You can also use Sublime Text Editor. You can also use Notepad, which is I'm going to using today, right? Must have the basic knowledge of file system where you are putting your files, right? You should have the knowledge of that. And lastly, excitement of learning. That's all. Let's get started. So how the basic HTML look like? It is just that you can see on your screen, right? So it gets started with doc type HTML. What is doc type HTML? So this is really important. And this is not a very important part where we have just declared that this doc is type of HTML. Then there is a tags called what is tags in HTML. So this is what we look like. So just like we have used the HTML tag and we have closed it at the end of this, right? So what it is going to look like tag name and that content and at the late tag name. There are some tags like input tag in which there is no content outside and there is no closing tag until we are learning React, right? So there are something called a self-closing tag when we are learning with React. We will discuss that in the last session of web development domain. So what I have used the second tag, it is a head tag, which is going to start and end after the title tag here. But there is a lot to discuss in the head tag. We will discuss further in the session, right? So body tag, whatever you are looking in the session, means whatever you are going to look in the whole part of the HTML, that is going to be written in the body tag, right? So I think it's time to move to the coding part, so it's just that we can get into what we have learned up here. Hope the code editor is visible to you. If it is not visible, please go for comment. Okay, so this is going to be a very basic part, so we are moving very fast for this. So I'll just type up here and click on the run. So this is my first heading and page title up here. I'm sorry, but here it is not visible. But there's a h1 tag and there's a paragraph tag which we symbolize with p and h1. What type of different heading tags we can give? It as a h2 tag. So let's move it. Second, I will write here, and then I will move it to h2, right? Let's run. So this is the second heading tag, which is smaller in the text file, but later with the help of CSS, we can change their font size also. Okay, let's move back. So this is what we were going to discuss up here. We started with the HTML basics, and we have learned what is tags, right? Let's move to some more tags. What are header tags and what are div tags? What are IMG tags? What are links tags? So how we use them and what are the users? Let's discuss it now. Great. So let's move to code. So this was what we were discussing up here. Let's go started with the code. We have just discussed about what are the headers tag. We have just seen h1, h2. How much heading tags we can give is h6. That's the limit. Okay, so the last heading tag is h6. No, there is no h7 tag. Okay, so there is a h6 tag only, nothing called h7. But so you can see that p tag has more font size than h6 tag here. So what we were discussing next is a div tag. What is a div tag? So this is what I have to put in a single line of comment. So then what I'm going to use as a div tag, because that this can be single body, right? So in this div tag, if I have to place some HTML, so sorry, CSS, then it became easy for me to add the CSS in the single div tag in place of using for this. Or if I have I will copy this and I will paste it here. If I have my second heading up here and I have to change both of the colors, means I have to keep this red and I have to keep this yellow. So how I can do that? I can do this with the different div tags, right? With the help of that. So we will discuss out with the CSS further in the session, right? So let's move to what is our next tag. That is an image tag. So img tag is one of the important tags up here. So I will use the img tag, but how we write the img tag, this should be like not like this. Many of you will be thinking like this, so img, and no, this is not the case. So img is a self, means there is a no need of closing the img tag, so we can just put out src, then we can give what is the source of the image. So I will just try with the PowerCamp's website. So I will just get an image, right? So I will just use this image, right? So that's the link of image. I will post it here. I will run. Yeah, you can see this image is just going to place up here. So what if I'm unable to use this, means my net is not working, then you can use alt tag. Basically alt, this type of prefix is used, means this is called as, later we will learn what is alt, what are src. So alt tag is what which we can use in the image such that they can be read by a blind person also, right? So I will just put that power camp banner. Okay, so a person can understand this is a back campus banner, right? So if I will remove png and I will run, so up here this image doesn't work, so this will be posted. But if it goes on the server, then there is nothing called as power camp banner up here. No, there is nothing called. So this is what we call as the img tag. Then we have the links tag. For example, we, in case you can see your mail also, there was a simple column in which you have to just take to the website, the YouTube link, right? So how you just go to that link just by clicking on that. So that was just an anchor tag. So what we can do is an anchor tag. Then we have href. So that's all what is anchor tag. So this is the simple format in which you have to write your anchor tag, right? So a href, here your link will go, and at the end a. So for example, I have to use click me. So let me add this link of bagcampuspowercamp.com. I will also use target blank such that it will open in a new tab. Okay, so let's run. Oh, because of this img I'm not able to see this properly, so I just remove the png thing. And so here you can see click me. So I will click this, and it will open powercamp.bagcamps.in website because I have just used it here. So I can just use a skills fest website up here, so such that it can open in skills fest website. So yep, it opens the skills fest website, right? So that's all about what is a header tag, what is a div tag, what is a img tag, and what is a tag. Let's move to our further discussion, right? So we just was a h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, and h6 tag. Then we discuss about what is a div tag, then what is a img tag, and last what are links tag. So what is HTML attribute, which I just said we will discuss in the next slide only. So href, src. So for example, href and src, we already discussed. Src is going to be used in img tag, and then href tag is going to be used in a tag, means anchor tag. So what is a ID? ID is one of the attribute which we regularly use for adding the class as using it in the JavaScript file also. Means if we have to point out a single ID in that group of HTML, then we can just use a ID tag and then we can refer it. What is a style tag? Style tag is just to use the styling. Then we are going to move it. What is a class tag, right? So some more code up here which you can refer. That's a simple tag. I have just removed the head tag so that it will not disturb us. So what is a comments, right? So comment is also important whenever we discuss any programming language. So in the HTML we can use this type of phenomena. Sorry, but I'm not able to mark it. So write your comment here. This type of thing you can do up here. Then bold text, then strong, then I tag, then small tag, and p tag, then mark tag, p tag. So let's move to the coding part. Means how this is going to look like. Such that I will copy this code and paste so that you can understand what are these types of tag. Hey, body tag. So let's move to the code editor. So here I will click on the run, and this is how it look like. So I'll just use a BR tag, which means it will help us to just check this, right? So BR tag is a simple tag in which we use. There is no need of closing of this tag, right? So just give a break line, and I will just click on the run. So our first bold text run. So this is what we call as the bold, right? Then the strong text run. So this is what the strong text. Then our text is italic. Then our italic code run. So this is what it look like. Then we have used a em tag which make it emphasized. So this is what it look like. Then we have used a small tag by the help of which this text look like this. Then we used a p tag in which we used a mark code. So this will just mark with hello. So I will just write a code. I just told you about what is a style attribute. So I've used style attribute to make the background color. Hope my spelling is correct. And I will make it the pink. So let's run. So it became pink. Then I just use a del tag. What is this? This is just a git delete, right? So that's just like how it look. So also we discuss about what are the HTML attributes. Let's move. What are tables in HTML? We are moving fast because that's very less time we have, right? I can see 12 people in the in the YouTube live, 9 people now. So you can post in the comment whether you are understanding this or not, right? If you have any feedback, you can post in comments. So let's move to get what is tables in HTML. So that's all we are going to look with. So I just used a table tag with the style width 100%. Then we have just used a table row. What is type of this? I think I should open it in code editor. This will help you to understand in better way. So let me open it in text editor. I have to change the tab again and again. That's the problem. So I'll remove this and let's run this. I don't know from what. So there's a first name, last name, then age, then Jill Smith 50. That's all. Just see there's something mistake in this. So when you started using Visual Studio Code or many other code editor, they just make it simple to code and you find it very useful. So even if you forgot the spelling, they allow you. Means they will just recall you your spelling is wrong. Right, so this is a table row and then table row. I don't know why this is not running up here properly. Yep, you can see that this is the first name, this is the last name. First name is Jill Smith, age is 50. I will just copy this, paste this. So Control C, V. So let the name as Ritesh, or the last name is KHAMITK, and let the age be 20. So this is how it works, right? So just you have to use the TD tag to enter the table data, then table row, what is a table tag, then body tag and HTML tag, as you already know. So this is the first column, this is the second column, there's the third column. That's all. So the always we can see that first column is going bolder. Okay, so make sure that you put more information in the first column. Hope you understand this. Let's. So we just discussed about table in HTML. Similarly, we are going to discuss about list in HTML. What is list in HTML, right? So let's move to the code. I will try to make you understand with this. Just we understand what is a table tag. Similarly, we can use a OL tag, means ordered list. So this is a li tag where we are using list. Here I just put it coffee, tea, milk, and then unordered list, right? So this is coffee, tea, and milk. What this is difference between OL and UL? Let's get discuss up here with the code editor, right? So I'll just move. I'll just copy this code, okay? I don't know what happened, but this is okay. So let's move. Yes, I'll just click on the run tag. This happened because I copied it from presentation only, right? Then. So this is what all happened. This is a copy tea milk in the order list. It came with 1, 2, 3. I can change the style and make it happened, but I'm keeping this as it is. And then it is an unordered list where we keep copy email unorderly, but it will keep in order as soon as you have checked up on the HTML tag, but it will not give any count, right? So let's move to the next topic. What is that is the important point in the HTML, that is the forms, right? So we already discussed about what are the input tags, but we have not discussed about what are the forms in HTML. So let's move to that part. So forms in HTML, that is very important part of the HTML system. So this is the code. I think you will not understand this code if it is in presentation. So we will fastly move to a code editor. This will be easy for you to understand and me to explain. Right. Oops, a similar problem. So this is what BR tag is. We have just used it in previous thing. So this is a form stack which we started up here. Then what is an action attribute? So action attributes is what we are going to means where this code is going to be used, right? So if this is at action.php, you can use it. If it is at the same page, you can use a simple uh, hash, right? Then we can just here check what is the label tag. So this is just a label for first name, so we are just use the first name. Then we have a BR tag. This will just break the line as we had discussed. So I'll just make it to a horizontal line, so I can. So what is the problem up here? Run. So this just brought a horizontal line. Hope my system is not. So should I use it in notepad and show you, right? I think that's only the best way. So I will see this in the form of HTML. This is a forms.html. I'm just going to see this. I think you're not able to check what is going up here. Then I'm using the same forms type. Right? Correct? You can see that. Oh, I don't know what mistake I have made. Input type text ID f name L name value John. Why this input tag is not. So we will back up here, so don't worry about this. So this will run in your system. I think there's some problem with my system. So this is the simple code you can use in a form tag. Action is a place where we are going to host our code. This is a label tag and which have a attribute called as for. So we can discuss out why this label is used. So we have using this for f name means first name. Then we have a simple input tag where just we have declared this type is text. Then we have declared this id is f name. Oops. HTML. Then I have not used a head tag. Hope this will work. Oh, there's some problem. So type text, then ID, F name, then L name, and I have just used the value John. So you can just when this will work, so you can just check that the in the input bar you can check John there, right? So input type text LM, then you can use value. If you don't want to use a value, you can just keep here. You can use a required when you're using it, right? So this is going to be amazing when you will use it. You can just use this code, and in the assignment also you have to make sure you are using a form stack. So for this session we are discussing these things from last 30 minutes. So what we have discussed it, boom. So make sure you understand what are the basic HTML tags, you understand HTML attribute, you understand forms in HTML, then whatever we have discussed, right? Hope you understand these things. So what is it? Developers practice. We can just use this type of thing, right? I just use change the color such that it look awesome for you. So I just started HTML doc type and it has no closing tag. Make sure that HTML it is closed at the last line. Hope my cursor is visible. Then I started the head tag and closed up here. Then started the styles tag and got up. So under the body tag, I have used a div tag, and only in the body tag we are using a script tag in which we are going to run the JS files, right? Whatever contain we are going to use, we have to use it in a body tag, and whatever CSS we can use it in CSS file up here, or there's another method we are going to discuss it today only. Let's moving on the CSS candle styling sheet. So there are three types of CSS we can add. So we can use the CSS in the external, then internal, and then inline. So we have just discussed about the inline CSS where we just use style tag and just put it in the form. So we will discuss now what is the internal CSS, right? So let's move to code editor. I will just write the code with you only so that you will understand what how you have to use them, right? So up here I'm using, so I'm deleting this. What I just declared is a doc type HTML. Okay, I will not declare that doc type HTML. I will just start with the HTML. Whenever you will use Visual Studio Code, it will directly help you to find out the codes, right? Don't worry about that. Then I'm using simply a head tag. So under that head tag, I can link a file, but I'm not going to use this. So for now, I'm just using a body tag and I'm closing it. So this is what a developer's practice does, right? So I'm just going to use a heading in the h1 tag, and I will just type welcome to Bagcampus. Bagcampus. Okay, this is welcome to Bagcampus. Here it is printed. So I will just start with the coding that code. So h1 tag. So this is how we declare, right? So this is h1 tag and I have to write the code for it. So I will just type color. I want the color of this is blue. Oh, sorry. I have not used the style tag up here. No, I have not closed it up here. Very sorry for that. So this is how it works. So welcome to HTML as an up color blue, right? So I will just try to make another h1 tag, and I will just use welcome to power cam. I'll run it. So I just want the color of both of them should be different. So I have various methods, so I will use one of them. I will declare a class. I will use second heading, okay, sh, whatever tag I have used. How we have to use in the style tag, so we will just put dot sh, and then I will use whatever styling I have to do. So I will just use text, sorry, color font red. Done. Oh, this happened, right? Then we have to use, for example, text transform. Uppercase. Make it uppercase. So this happened. So what are the simple CSS tags? You can just visit w3school.com, and I'm using just the tried portal of that w3school.com only, and you can practice up with various CSS styling parts. Okay, uh, for example, I have to use this HTML tag and I have to code simple things. So I will just use a ID tag so that you can understand what is the ID tag. So I will use f, h means first heading. So you can declare it with the simple hash and writing the name, and then writing whatever you want. So I want just bag. Okay, okay, okay. I will use text transform only. So I will use text transform uppercase, and I will run. This works, right? I want this should not be uppercase but a lowercase. Oops. LOWER lowercase. So this became a lowercase. I want it capitalized, so I can use capitalize, capitalize, and it will be capitalized. So it is capitalized, just B is small, right? So this is how you can use the simple tags. Then we have just discussed about forms, but it was not working, so let's discuss up here. Forms, I will use action equal to, I will just use the same page form action, then hash form tag, I will close. Then I will use simply input tag with the place folder age. Okay, I will also use something like type equal to number, because age is always a number. Then I'm going to use a value tag which I want should be 80, and let's run. This is how it works. 18, 20. Now I have to submit this. Okay, so how I can just do it is end. I can use a button tag, and I can just use type equal to under quotation. Okay, make sure you do that. Submit. I'll just use it here. Submit dash button. Now it's on you. Whatever you write here, it will be displayed here. So I will just use a power cam. This will be power cam. As soon as I use it. Oh. So the file you asked for does not access. This thing because there was no action up here, right? So what I will do is to submit tag up here. So I will also tell you about what is the input submit tag. So this happened because when you use the VS Code editor and such type of editors again and again, this thing happens. So I will just use this and I will give a value tag. Value I will just use a PowerCam because I have used the same submit tag. So that's only the same case whether you use an input tag or you use a button tag. Now I have to style them. Okay, I have to style them with the input tag. So what I can do is not using dot. Okay, input. Hope this thing's not happening. So I just use a text transform. No, text transform would not happen here. I'll use a color tag, and I will use a fancy color, violet. I think so. This happened up here. So this pink color. Oh, this would not be. You would not be able to see that. Green. I don't like the green color move, but this works. So this is how we are going to run this thing. So okay, let's move to the further part of our presentation. From last 42 minutes, we are discussing on this thing. We just discussed about external CSS, internal CSS, and inline CSS. Oops, we did not explain with external CSS, which we will use when we are using file system. So let's move to Bootstrap version 4.6. What is Bootstrap version 4.6? Right. So Bootstrap version 4.6. So you can just visit getbootstrap.com to know about Bootstrap. Again, I had to close the screen, right? So I'm sharing again the Bootstrap. Let's discuss more on Bootstrap. So this is Bootstrap version 5.1 is currently we are using, but 4.6 is still the better version because version 5 was in beta version when we were forcing more on this, but version 4.6 there's nothing bad in that. You can just check out what is difference in Bootstrap version 4 and Bootstrap version 5 with the help of Google, right? You can just Google out this thing. So how we use the Bootstrap in our tag? So we have to just use the CSS line. So we can just use the CSS. I can just click on the copy and will be get copied JS. So as we have already discussed where we are going to use it. So we are going to use it up here. This is what we called as external CSS. It is externally, right? So you can also use when it is a locally, you can use also this. So this is external CSS. Various code is written up here. Just I will let you know what type of code is written on this file. So this is the thing. If I will reduce this min, you can able to check what is the styling. So this is what is the styling. This is a root tag declare up here. What is the OL, UL, PL, DT, DD, block quote, strong tag, small tag, which we have already discussed. What happened when we hover on the A tag? This is all the thing, right? You can just visit up w3school.com to learn more about HTML and CSS. There is written a lot up there, right? So there's a button tag, there's a select tag, there is a button and select tag. So there's a lot of CDN working up here. So we just checked up here. Now we are going to use some scripts. So these are some JS files. So where we are going to use them? We are going to use them just before we close the body tag. We already discussed it before. A standard developer always know that style tag is to be put in head tag and script tag is always to be put in body tag, but at the in, right? So I will click on the run. There's nothing up here. What I'm going to use is the component. So what type of component I can use? It is a alert component. For example, I will copy this alert option, copy, and after this form tag I will press run. Let's run. Oops. I think because of something this not working. Okay, this thing is happening because I'm using a W3 code editor. Okay, so I had to use it in my own code. Oops. This is going to be, so I will just copy this and press it to form tag which I have. Enter plus SSS. Yeah, this works. I will open this. Oh, I think this is not been added properly. Oh yes, because I had just used it in style tag. What mistake I had. Yeah, this is how it works. A simple primary alert came up here. So let's make a navbar. Navbar is what we use in regular web development practice, because it is important part, right? So navbar, I will just copy the code. I'll paste it at this part. That's right. This is what a navbar is looking like. This is looking like this. If I will make this, so this is what we call as responsiveness, which came up here because of this. So if we have to discuss on what is the Bagcampus Power Camp's page source, right? So we can just click on this view page source, and you can check there is a head tag, HTML tag, doc type, HTML. Then there is a lot of meta tag which we are going to discuss in the digital marketing course. Then what is a section? This is a preloader which we have just used. Then there's a div tag. This is a header tag. We have used the class tag. Then ID attribute, class attribute, and there's a navbar, and there's a lot stuff up here. Nearly 826 lines of code, and some line of code is reused using the jQuery, which we are going to discuss in further section. How we can just means a simple a code which is going to be used on every page. What we can just put them on everything every page, and if we have to edit them, then it will be very difficult. So what we can do is we can just create a simple jQuery tag, such that jQuery file, such that it can help us to reuse the code. We will discuss in jQuery, and as well as in the React. It is going to be amazing thing. So we will discuss it in further sessions. Okay, so this is what now tag and all this thing. So this is what Bootstrap is. Drop down. I will use drop down. One drop down up here. Copy it, and I will use for the navbar. Okay, this is a drop down button. That's all. Hope you enjoyed the session. Let's move the presentation now. So hope you understand this Bootstrap 4.6, how we integrate it, how we use the code lines, and also we can style them. Should we discuss on that? Okay, I think so we should discuss on that, but not today, but tomorrow. What is the assignment? You have to create a simple portfolio website with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you have to submit it on 16 August 2021 to 31 August 2021. So that's a simple thing. You have to create a simple portfolio. What is a portfolio website? So portfolio website is a website which describe about you means, for example, I'm Rishabh Suryawanshi. I'm a student. I am a executive head at Bagcampus. I will write these things. I have created a lot of projects, so I will describe that. Where it is my GitHub account link, what is my LinkedIn account link, what is my connection link, what type of internship I have done. You have to just write this thing about you. It's done. Thank you for your response to Back Campus events. Because of you only, these events are going to rock. Thanks and regards. I'm Rishabh Suryawanshi, founder and executive head Back Campus. I take your leave. Thank you. If you have any problem with the assignment, please put in the comment. Okay.